It's 145 days till the man bans, and I thought we'd start this little series with something I know a lot of people worry about, and that is going to the toilet. How do you relieve yourself in Black Rock City, especially if you have a fear of portaloos? So we're going to talk about the do's and the don'ts, the etiquette, portaloos, pee funnels, buckets, cleanup, all that good stuff. I'll leave timestamps in the description box below so that you can jump around if you want to. So let's start with the most obvious one. On the ground, wherever you are. I'm sure that most of you have been drunk at some point, and you know that when you break the seal and you're full of booze, that sometimes you just gotta go. And so, a bush, an alleyway, maybe the middle of the street, depending on how much you've had to drink. But Burning Man, it is a huge no-no. It is a criminal offense. You can get fined for doing that. And if you see someone else doing it, you should let them know that it's not okay. It's really, really bad for the environment. It is against the rules, and they could face having to pay out for a fine. It's really not worth the risk. I mean, do you really want to have to pay because you couldn't be bothered to walk to the Port-a-loos or didn't have another handy solution on you? So the ground is off limits. Just don't do it, guys. So now that you know that you can't just drop trowel and go where you're standing, portaloos are the number one option. And I know a lot of you are scared of portaloos. I have seen some that haunt my nightmares. You open the door real slow, like, what's going to be behind there? It's like a mystery poop cabin. So let's talk about the rules and common courtesies of using portaloos so that none of us have to open a door and see that toilet from Train Spotting in front of us. Number one, there are 3 things that can go down portaloos: pee, poo, and single-ply toilet paper. I'm not being forgetful. Your tampons, sanitary towels, condoms, baby wipes, all of that stuff cannot go down the portaloos. If you put them down there when they come to clean the toilets, when they come to pump them, it blocks up the nozzle and they can't empty it properly. They can't clean it. So if you do that, you are responsible for us all suffering and having terrible portaloos while we're there. Good work, you. Thanks a lot. Hovering. It is considered common courtesy to not hover. In general, when people hover, that is how things that should not be on the seat end up on the seat. And I get it. If you walk into a toilet and someone has left a log on the seat, yeah, I'm going to hover too. Or I'm going to look next door and hope that it's better. But there's no way I'm sitting on a seat that's covered in other people's bodily fluids. But if you're the first person to go into the toilet, everything's clean and nice, park your tushy on the seat and go to the loo. If you hover in a clean toilet and you make a mess, you are setting off a chain of events. You are starting that toilet on the way to becoming the Train Spotting toilet. It was you. You're responsible for that. If you are wearing a costume, a cat suit, something huge and funky, it can be a bit of a struggle. You're going into a tiny little poop cabin. Like, how are you going to get out of that? Because we all know you don't want to touch the walls. Like, the walls are lava, the floor's lava, like, everything's lava. It's like being on a game show and the prize is not getting covered in other people's poop. My advice is to take that stuff off before you get into the box. Get your friend to hold it. Take a risk, leave it on the floor and hope no one steals your costume before you get back out. If you are going to do this inside the toilet, ask anyone waiting for the toilet to start humming the Mission Impossible theme tune just to really make things tense. Shoes should be a given. I mean, if you're going to go into a porta potty, put something on your feet. If you don't, wow. I'm not sure if you're brave or stupid or a bit of both. So moving on from portaloos to pee funnels or F.U.Ds, female urination devices. There will be times where you've got to go and you see those blue lights in the distance and you're like, I am not going to make it. I'm going to pee my pants before I reach those blue lights. It's good to have a backup. A pee funnel is basically a funnel for your pee. You grab your funnel, you stick it on your vag and pee, kind of like a man. Not on the ground though. Not on the ground, guys. They are also good for using with the portaloos, especially if you've got that delicate tushy, you don't want to be sitting on the seat, you're planning to be a hoverer. A pee funnel is a good way to go. You can pee like a man, but make sure you lift the seat because, that's what we've been trying to get men to do. Lift the seat before they pee so they don't sprinkle. So be a seat lifter. But aside from the portaloos, it means you can pee in a bottle. And I know that some of you out there are like, excuse you? That's disgusting. You try waking up at 5 a.m. when all of the liquids in your body are sitting in your bladder and you feel like you're going to wet yourself, and the portaloos are too far and there's a big queue and it's freezing cold, and you're like, I kind of wish I could just pee in a bottle right now. That would be a really nice, easy solution. Even though there are tons of different models at all kinds of different price points on the market, if for some reason you can't get hold of one before Burning Man, you can make them yourself. You can DIY them. I will try and do a video on how to make your own FUD. We can build some funky FUDs together. That is absolutely what I would call it if I had a FUD company. The only thing is they take a little bit of practice to get used to. I mean, some people can use them without even like taking their trousers off and stuff. They're like professionals. So you'll want to get some practice in before you are at Burning Man. I suggest starting with the shower. I know it's frowned upon to pee in the shower, but it's kind of also frowned upon to pee in a bottle. So what the hell? So level 1, practice in the shower, standing up. Level 2, in the shower, drunk while standing up. I don't know if I should be advising people to take drunk showers, but you're adults, you know how to survive a drunk shower, or whether you're the kind of person that should not be drunk in the shower. Once you've mastered level 1 and 2, level 3 is trying in the toilet. Maybe level 4 is like trying in the toilet but without dropping your trousers. That would be kind of handy in a portaloo, actually. You should definitely practice that too. Level 5, the same, but drunk. Level 6, same, but drunk and in the dark, because, you forgot your head torch, or your head torch batteries ran out, and you're just like, oh, it's dark and terrifying, and hum the Mission Impossible theme tune while you're doing it. The bonus levels are practicing, but doing it into a bottle, and, if you're going to be doing tent pees as well, because there'll probably come a point where you wake up and you're like, I'm gonna pee in my tent. Obviously in a bottle, not on the floor. No one needs to practice how to pee on the floor of a tent. But, in a bottle, crouch down, pretend you're surrounded by all your favourite clothes, and try not to get pee on them. And do the same thing when it's dark and you're drunk. There's going to be a lot of drinking involved in this practice. If you're not planning to drink, obviously you don't need to practice the drunken pee. By the way, if you do go for the bottle thing, you can empty that pee into the portaloos. It is one of the 3 things that can go into the toilet. The pee from the bottle, not the bottle itself. Make sure you label your pee bottles as well, because you don't want to accidentally drink from that. Like, oh no. So one other thing about pee funnels is you do need to clean them, or you probably will want to clean them. And an antibacterial wipe is perfect for that. I looked on the Shiwi's website for like their advice on cleaning, and they were like, if you can't clean it, just shake it. Do not shake your Shiwi, like, it's hazardous. You might get covered in pee or cover someone else in pee. Don't shake it, guys. No. Obviously, pee funnels and bottles are not just for inside your tent. You can use them anywhere you want, and you will probably see plenty of people on burn night out on the playa, just having a pee in a bottle, because the queues for the portaloos are huge on burn night. So, whatever you're comfortable with. Moving on to buckets. I don't know many people that go to Burning Man and they're like, yeah, no, we just have a bucket in the back that you can do business in. But you will want a bucket with a lid on it anyway. Maybe someone's going to drink too much and they're going to throw up. Maybe someone's got a bad stomach and the worst is about to happen. And rather than have it happen straight in the middle of your camp, wouldn't you rather have a bucket that you can put a lid on and be like, well, let's never speak of that again? Some people do bring kitty litter or something because it is very absorbent for smells, and they use it, for any kind of liquid that they need to get rid of that might smell, or for the toilet, but I don't think it's a very kind of common situation. But still, a bucket with a lid, it's best to bring one. If you've got an RV, you might be like, hooray, I've got my own toilet, I don't need to worry about this stuff, I can poop in comfort while reading a book. I'd suggest you don't do that in your RV, especially if you are with a group of people, especially if you're with a group of big men who like to poop like 5 times a day and are living on like a diet of pickles and whiskey. No. I advise you do not go number 2 in your RV. That is a small enclosed space in a very hot environment. Things are going to get nasty in there real quick. It's going to smell bad. I suggest that you brave the portaloos like the rest of us. So one last thing that you're going to want with you is some hand sanitizer. The portaloos do have like hand sanitizer dispensers, but obviously they tend to run out quite quickly. So you're going to want your own supply. Think of all the things that you're touching and eating with your hands. it makes sense to just give your hands a quick little sanitize after you've been in one of those little poop cabins of doom. Oh, and some Ziploc bags, because, you know, if you take like baby wipes or anything to like wipe the seat with, you're going to want somewhere to put it. You can't put it down the portaloo. You probably don't want to put that like in your pocket. So have a Ziploc bag that you can put anything that can't go down the toilet in until you can, you know, get it back to camp and put it in your camp bin. Something else that's kind of nothing to do with going to the toilet, but every time you go to the toilet, pop on some sun cream and drink some water. It's 2 things you should be doing a lot. It's very easy to forget to reapply sun cream. So if you do it every time you go to the toilet, you know, at least you're remembering some of the time. I don't know how small your bladder is. I don't know how many times you're going to the toilet, but it's a start. So that's it, guys. That is how to deal with toilet time at Burning Man. If any of you have any other like tips and suggestions, then in the comments. And anyone going to Burning Man, please try and keep the portaloos in a nice state. Like, think of it as a gift to the community. Like, you know, when you open a portaloo door and it's like nice and clean and it feels like Christmas, you're like, wow, I just like hit the jackpot of portaloos. Like, you know, it's a gift that you can give people. And of course, if any of you are at Burning Man this year and you see me roaming around, feel free to come and say hi to me. Bye, guys.